You know, all this Aquarian activation has been quite trippy, hasn't it? Pluto in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius. The Pluto-Mars activations, we've seen all kinds of rambunctious activity, including news of Russian space nukes came out. There was the, sadly, events surrounding the city of Rafah. Not good at all, heartbreaking. And so we're seeing that power of Mars-Pluto in Aquarius. Venus will join here very, very soon, probably around the time I release this, something on the 16th of February. And we're gonna have this major Aquarian moment. That's not what I want to talk about in this video. This video is not about the Aquarius. I talked about that in some recent ones. This video is about Pisces, and I was thinking about titling this one the Pisces Key, and that's probably going to be the title of the video. We have two eclipses this season. First, Libra on the 25th of March, a lunar eclipse, I think the 6th degree, and then we have a solar eclipse in Aries on the 8th of April in the 20th degree. And these two eclipses, and this is the key, I think, in some ways to processing the eclipses. These two eclipses have their domicile lords both in Pisces. And so you have Saturn and Venus both in Pisces. Those are the two rulers of the Libra lunar eclipse. The exaltation lord of Libra is Saturn. The domicile lord is Venus. They're both there in Pisces. And then that 8 April eclipse, that 8 April solar eclipse, the Sun and Mars are the lords. And so the Sun is being eclipsed. That's the exaltation lord of Aries. There's a whole Aries story for sure. But Mars as the domicile lord right in Pisces, right with Saturn. And so this is kind of the key to processing and understanding, I think, many of our eclipse stories would be to actually think about Pisces and the Pisces sector and what Pisces is and how it's operating in our charts and lives. Just as an example, this last eclipse season in October, where we had two eclipses, we had a solar eclipse in Libra and a lunar eclipse in Taurus, the final one of that cycle. Venus was in Virgo for both of those eclipses, and that was the hidden Virgo key, the Virgo key for that eclipse cycle. I've seen it with a lot of people whose charts I've been into, that it was the Virgo sector with Venus and Virgo that really bore out some of the eclipse unfoldments for folks. And so that's the message here of this video, is check that Pisces sector. Where is it? What are the themes of Pisces? How has Saturn and Pisces been for you? What's happening with all of that story? Because that's the key for maybe how some of this stuff may be wanting to unfold for you. And so just coming back, what is Pisces? Again, my favorite way to analyze a sign. What are the whole sign rulers? The whole sign rulers tell us a whole lot about the significations of a sign. We know Jupiter and Venus, domicile lord Jupiter of Pisces, exaltation lord Venus. We know they're in play. So the expansive changeability of Jupiter and how we can be given, awareness and new insight and expand our horizons and change our beliefs about the world. All of that Jupiterian stuff, truth, justice, wisdom, revelation, abundance, all of that's in play with Pisces. But it's of the nature of the Venusian, which is creativity, unification with other people. I've been thinking about that theme with Pisces, which is the kind of oneness of reality, which is one of my personal favorite spiritual practices or spiritual ideas. You find it in many religions, including Advaita Vedanta, something I studied when I did my yoga training, teacher training. You find it in Islam, people like Ibn Arabi and others who describe the kind of total unity of the oneness. It's in a lot of Gnostic traditions, the idea that we're all just kind of emanations from this divine oneness, or like a monad or something like this. And so I think this is very much of the Piscean, is the nature of that oneness and the unity of all things. Even the Christian concept of like, love your brother as yourself, recognize your brother everyone you meet, this kind of John Lennon model of reality. And so that is a big part of it, how we have the Venusian forms of unification that I think are embedded in these notions of oneness, spiritual oneness. So you see how it's Venus and Jupiter combined, because it's the Jupiterian spirituality with the Venusian unification, and we get these kind of features of oneness and one reality. But then it's Mars, and this may be kind of a hidden key. I've been thinking so much about Mars as the triplicity lord by night of Pisces, and Mars is action, force, power, passion, action. And what I've kind of come to understand, or on a deeper level, and been processing on a deeper level, is this idea that our action, the nature of how we act and how we want to maneuver in reality, can often be greatly supported by imaginative dreamscapes, inner realms of expansion, where we have these kind of Piscean dream worlds. Things feel strange or weird. Reality might not even be clearly defined in Pisces, right? We're dissipating into some kind of collective spiritual unification. So I think about things here, well, just to say, so Mars can sometimes, and our action can often be greatly supported by releasing into the sense of, I don't even know what reality is, and then we operate and our decision making operate from an intuitive framework where we're just kind of intuiting action. It's like, I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm going to pray, meditate, and then boom, I know how to act. I just knew it was right. This is one of the phrases I've been thinking a lot about with Mars and Pisces. I just knew it was right. And that's sometimes the only justification we need for any kind of action, is an inner knowing and an inner awareness arrived at through non-traditional means. Things like a dream state, giving people information about what to make. This is like Paul McCartney, I think it was Yesterday. He got the melody for Yesterday in a dream. There's actually a Wikipedia page where you can say people who got downloads in a dream for inventions and in all fields of human activity. So that's the activity of Mars and the unreality and the kind of spiritual interconnectivity of Pisces merging for action. And I wonder, for a lot of our eclipse stories, how much that's going to play a role. And that would really be what I would just encourage you here, is using your eclipse story to feel into maybe non-traditional ways of knowing or being, and how what may emerge out from that is either actions or clarity of action, such that when we're on the other side of eclipse season, we're going to look back and say, wow, it was that chance meeting in a dream that now showed me what to do, or I got the opening act of my novel, or the name of my brand for my new, tech company in this dream realm. And so keep that in mind. It's the Pisces key for these upcoming eclipses. And then the last thing I want to share is that on the 28th of February, there's a rare front running of these downloads. And I think with the cazimi of Saturn, Mercury, simultaneous with the sun, they both meet the sun right on the 28th of February. I think it's in the first decan. And remember, a cazimi is a purification. It's the planets get kind of purged and purified, preparing their synodic cycle with the sun for that next cyclical event. Now, this is the superior conjunction of Mercury, so we're actually late in the phase of Mercury, because now Mercury will become an old evening star getting ready to go retrograde and go back in the underworld and be reborn. But certainly with Saturn Sun synodic, this is the birth of a new Saturn period, and this is the first cazimi of Saturn in Pisces. And so this again happens on the 28th of February, setting up downloads and clarity around the Saturn and Pisces story. The dream being made material, or the loosening of the material into the dream. Both can be what Saturn and Pisces is evoking. And so use this cazimi moment to then set up and prepare for the kind of inversions and accelerated fadedness that eclipses will offer. Both rulers by domicile and by exaltation of Libra in Pisces for these eclipses. So that's the Pisces key. Get out ahead of it. This is how I like to use astrology. We contemplate symbol sets out ahead of when these symbols are activated, or as they're becoming activated, to process our lives and to move with our reality. So take care. Good luck out there. I'm going to keep this video here short and end it here, but I wish you the very, 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 very best as you prepare for eclipse season and as we move through the rest of February. So talk soon and take care.